What's up, YouTube? My mustache and I welcome you to another weekly recap of my $10 Songs project. This week we're going to be diving into 5 new songs. If you missed my previous weekly recap, I'm going to link it down below along with all the links for the songs I'm going to be discussing in this video. Let's get into it. I wrote West for one of my best friends out here in LA. Her name's Elena. She's from Alabama, therefore I wanted to write her more country style song and had to throw in lines about having that Bama pride, missing the countryside and her family back home. And it's really a song that commends her on making the trek out west to pursue her dreams. She's just been killing it out here, working as a production assistant on various shows, and yeah, that's what the song basically about, is just, saying, I know it's hard being away from home, but in a couple years from now you're going to be settling down out here somewhere beautiful, enjoying the company of your friends and all the work that you've done and everything that you've worked so hard to accomplish. That's the story behind the lyric, and let's dive into the production a little bit. So as I mentioned, this is a country song. At least I think it leans country. I've wanted to produce and make a country song for a while. It kind of gets back to my roots, guitar focused, kind of almost folky sounding, but mixed with pop. I had to throw in a lot of harmonies in that chorus. I think that's a really key thing in a lot of country music. I swear I burp in every single video I make. I'm sorry. One of my favorite things in this track is at the very end, I put in the sound of a football announcer. Put that in the very tail end of the track because Elena loves football. I knew I had to incorporate that somehow, somewhere into the track. And if you notice, in a lot of these songs that I've been writing, I kind of like to throw in these like little hidden gems like that kind of speak to the person I'm writing them about. I actually used a riff on the guitar in the beginning, like the main riff, the dun, 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 dun. I've been wanting to write something to that riff for years. I thought it would be a perfect riff to write a country song to. I hope you guys like the song. I wrote it for one of my best friends. Her name's Allie. It's a massive nostalgia trip for me. I wanted to make it sound really emotional and sad and nostalgic and kind of have the air of like old bands, the Maine, or like alternative rock bands from the early 2010s. So I met Allie when we were 15, 16 years old, and we used to hang out with a group of people down at this park on 15th Street and 2nd Avenue. So the first line of the song is 16 down at 15th. We like talked for the first time and took a picture together at the KFC that was across the street from there. I had no idea in that moment that she and I would actually end up going to college together and becoming really, really close friends. There's a line in here, I miss running through the snow to the elephant tree. There's a tree on our campus at Purchase called the elephant tree because there's this big trunk coming out of it that looks like an elephant trunk. And there was one day we had together where it had snowed like crazy the day before, and there was just like at least a foot of snow on the ground, and the elephant tree's in the middle of this big field, and she and I had gotten Starbucks and we walked over to the elephant tree, probably to smoke weed or something, and we were just having a great time, and we were just like, should we just try to run through the snow over to the elephant tree and just chill over there? And of course, the second I start running through the snow, I like trip and fall, and it was this hysterical video we had, and it was just such a great day and a great memory that I had with her. I really wanted to put that in the song. Then the whole chorus talks about me wanting to go back to those times and go back to hanging out with her and how much I miss her and how much I want to be back in New York and hang out with her. I mean, I love it in LA, but I miss all my friends in New York a lot. Let's talk about the production. This song was built around an electric guitar kind of plucky thing that I came up with. I really wanted to capture the emotion and moodiness of the lyrics with a really moody, kind of like angsty, alternative rock sounding kind of track. So I focused a lot on just layering really pretty, clean electric guitar parts on top of each other, implementing sounds of real drums instead of using like electronic drum kits. It was really fun to lay down a beat and like envision myself playing it. I grew up playing the drums and they're one of my favorite instruments to play. I kind of envisioned myself in each space inside of what an alternative rock band would look like and me playing each instrument, and I just went in on the bass and like angstily as I could. Is that a is that a word? The lyrics break my heart. Allie, if you're watching this, I miss you so much. I wrote this one for one of my high school English teachers. Her name is Miss Iverson. She was super, super special to me during a time that I was struggling a lot in my life. Very early on in my transition in a brand new school, in a brand new chapter of my life. I wrote this to tell her how much my experience of having her as a teacher meant to me. I start the song off with, "I never did any papers you assigned me," because you know what? I was a student. I just had so much going on in my life that I didn't care about school. I was very much depressed and struggling and trying to fight for and figure out my identity as a trans guy. But Miss Iverson always saw that I had a passion for writing and gave me a second chance when I kind of kept letting her down as a teacher, I think. I never forgot that. She was one of the few teachers at that school who actually cared about me and tried to show it. I kind of talk about my high school experience in this song a little bit. You know, I hid in bathroom stalls to avoid getting bullied. I would literally roam the hallways of school just thinking about how inferior I felt. But to have even just one teacher whose class I enjoyed going to, and in the chorus I talk about staying up really late, feeling kind of in despair, trying to figure out my emotions in my life, and having someone like that in my life really showed me that I could succeed. The tag learn to survive and I could survive one page at a time. So let's get into the production. It was the second $10 song I had written that day, and I wrote it really late at night. I was really burnt out, but once I came up with the hook for this, it like reignited me, and I was like, I'm gonna make this sound like a early 2010s pop song. I just wanted to make this a really like four on the floor, upbeat, hopeful sounding pop song that was super catchy. In the chorus I have a lot of side chain pianos and plucky synths. I have an FM bass and some plucky basses in there, and it's a nice four on the floor beat, sweeps and stuff that kind of keep the track flowing and moving. I wanted it to be like a gradual build up to that drop. I actually wrote this song section by section, wrote the piano part for the verse, then wrote the piano part for the pre-chorus, then wrote the chorus as a whole together along with the lyrics. And I don't usually write in such a meticulously organized way. For some reason, that just was the way I went about writing the song. I think it was because I was so burnt out. It was hard to just kind of let something flow out of me, and so I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Let's move on to the next song. I wrote it for my step cousin, Allie. Her name's also Allie. Allie lost her mom to cancer a few years ago. I wanted to give her a piece of music that she could listen to if she wanted to feel connected to her mom. I just wanted to dedicate something to her mom because I know how much she meant to Allie, and I also know someone who's very close to me who lost her mom to cancer. I was also very close with her mom, so I remember talking to that friend about what that grief was like and experiencing a form of grief myself from losing someone and watching them wither away, and it's just weird when they're gone. It just doesn't really make sense, and I can't imagine what that's like to lose a parent, especially at such a young age. I wanted to make light of it by writing a hopeful song about processing that grief and about remembering that that person that is physically left will never actually leave. Wondering if, you know, that person that you've lost can hear you, if they can see you, if they're watching you. You know, I have the line, "I think I'm lost looking for you in every gust of air," because I know when I lost my friend's mom, I would kind of think about her in every little thing that I would do and almost like search for pieces of her in everything that I was doing and everything that I was thinking. You know, searching only goes so far. I think I've found that where you are surrounds the earth and galaxies forever and beyond, meaning, you know, that no matter where you look, there's gonna be a piece of that person there with you always. For Allie, her mom will always lie in her heart and in her soul and in every fiber of her being. That's basically what I'm trying to get at in these lyrics. Allie, if you're watching this, I love you, and I hope this song means something to you and that it brings you comfort. I'll talk about the production briefly. The production for Lisa, there really wasn't that much going on, and I really didn't. Emotional and bittersweet melodies and sounds, you know, a chorus that really flows kind of like the way wind or a spirit would around you. So I used a piano called Lekko, Lekko, and it's just like the greatest piano sound. The way you play it is like it's very soft, velocity wise, and the samples that are used for this piano, they capture like all the little creaks and sounds that come out when you're playing a real piano and when you're taking your foot on and off the pedal. So I use that as well as some, you know, some strings and some harmonies. Really it. I'm pretty sure I have some vinyl crackle in there too. Let's move on to the final song. This final song is a song I wrote for two of my really good friends' moms. My buddies Peter and Michael. I went to preschool and middle school with them. They're still two of my really, really close buddies. I wrote this for their mom, Anne. Anne is a NICU nurse, which is a neonatal intensive care unit nurse, basically where you take care of, you know, little babies. So I wanted to talk about what I'm assuming her experience is working in situations like that with such fragile lives. I wanted to implement that in the song, but also her love for raising her own kids. The whole verse is about her job, basically. You know, born into buildings in Manhattan, you watch them sleep, you hold them close, tiny hands and tiny breaths for the first time, praying they never let go. Life starts out crying into new hands, life leaves us crying when we go, you know. When you come into the world, life brings you into the world screaming and crying into new hands, you know, into your parents' hands or a nurse's hands or wherever you go. As life goes on and when life ends, you cry too. Basically what I'm trying to say. Good care and company, the next line, make every second worth it. Life is hard, but if you are taken care of by the right people and you have the right people in your life, it makes life a whole lot more worth living. I think the work that Anne does helps these babies' lives grow into something amazing. The chorus is all about her three boys, so Mark's the eldest, and then Peter and Michael are twins. Walk back 20-something years ago when you first held Mark, Peter, and Michael. You felt love you thought you'd never know. It's nothing short of a miracle. So the lyric is really just to commend her for the job that she does and the job that she has done on her family. But let's go into the production in this one. So I wanted to make like a pop ballad. It would be considered a pop song now. I wanted to have a big sounding beat that was like really impactful because the lyrics are really impactful. So I have this nice thick kind of kick that like cuts in through the track, big reverb, rim shot, and clap as the snare in the chorus. That's really when the production kicks in. Everything up until that point is piano melodies, which I EQ'd to make it kind of sound like they were distant. And I have a little drum beat that's a little off, like not the beat that you would expect it to be before the chorus hits, and kind of just is more straightforward. Obviously throwing some harmonies in the end. And in the very end of the song, I didn't want to write anything else. I didn't want to say anything else. So I wanted to just kind of convey the general like feeling of the song through really pretty melodies and just myself singing. Kind of almost like a lullaby in a sense, like you would sing to a baby. And it just leaves the song on a really pretty, kind of quiet and thoughtful note, I think. I hope you guys like that track as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, share them with your friends, give me a little thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. As always, stay hydrated, stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands. Also, shout out to Annalise for editing this video. You're the best. I love all you guys. Thank you for watching. Take care.